I'm researching how to grow sustainable biomaterials here in my garage lab. And today is really exciting because it's actually the first day that I'm actually getting started on growing the biomaterials. My project is to grow bacterial cellulose. This is a biomaterial that I think has a ton of really interesting properties. But how am I going to be growing bacterial cellulose? It actually starts with kombucha. I have here in my hands, I've got 2 different kombucha SCOBYs. I was given these by one of my friends, so huge shout out to you, David, if you ever end up watching this. And what these are symbiotic cultures of bacteria and yeast. And inside of each of these jars, there are a bunch of bacteria and yeast that are converting carbon and nitrogen from their food source into this little weird goo, kind of slimy looking layer that's floating around. That is the bacterial cellulose. And what I want to do is I want to optimize growing just that bacterial cellulose. And the way that I'm going to do this is first, I've got to reactivate these kombucha SCOBYs so that I can isolate the bacteria that produce the cellulose. What I'm going to be doing for that today is boil some water, brew some tea in it. I've got black tea and I've got white tea. I'll add some sugar and I'll put those into these 2 jars that I've got here. These are actually garden vegetable soup jars I got from Trader Joe's. I've cleaned these out real good so they're nice and clean on the inside. I'll put the tea and the sugar into there, and then once they've cooled down so that they don't kill all the bacteria and yeast when I add it, I just pour in the kombucha SCOBY. So it's pretty simple. So I'm just going to get started. So this water is boiling. It is ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pour some of that water into my jars and I will get that tea brewing. So I actually didn't really think this through, and I think that pouring the boiling water into this glass jar might break it. So I'm going to go grab some just normal tea mugs to brew the tea in first, and then I will transfer it to the glass once it's cooled down. Got 2 Gudetama mugs. My girlfriend loves these. And I'm going to put 2 bags of tea into each. So I've got my black tea here, white tea here. So while the tea will provide a nitrogen source for the kombucha, I also need a carbon source. So for that, sugar. So I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of sugar to each. That's 1 and 2, and 1 and 2. Now basically I just let the tea brew, and I'm going to let it cool down as well so that when I add the SCOBYs to the tea, it doesn't just completely kill everything that's in there. I want to make sure that this is down to about 75 degrees Fahrenheit. So I've got a thermometer here that I'm just going to be able to put in. I will check what temperature it's at. And I'm probably going to end up actually adding a couple ice cubes to make it cool down faster. Yeah, so right now it's sitting at 133 degrees Fahrenheit. So that is too hot. If I put the SCOBY in there, it will totally kill it. Okay, so these have been steeping for 10 or 15 minutes now. So I'm going to take out the tea bags and I'm going to grab a couple ice cubes to help them cool down faster. Looking like they're at about 85 degrees now. I will get them poured into their actual vessels here. So we've got our white tea here and then the black tea. And one last time, we'll double check that the temperature is looking good. Perfect. So we're sitting at 26 degrees Celsius, 27 degrees Celsius. That is right within the range that we want. So I'm just going to go ahead and get these things transferred. I will start with our white tea kombucha. Yeah. Ugh. So that smells horrible. Weird mat that you can see inside of there. That is our cellulose. That is our SCOBY that we will be transferring. Look at that delicious SCOBY pellicle in there. Yummy stuff. So now since these need to have access to air, I've got some rubber bands and some paper coffee filters. And I'm just going to take this coffee filter, put it over top of this opening here, just like this, and seal it down with a couple rubber bands. And this will make sure that no fruit flies or anything can get in, but it still has access to air. All right, so this is our restarted white tea kombucha. I'm gonna put this to the side. Now it's time for our black tea kombucha. So this one doesn't have as much of a cellulose pellicle in it, but that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and get this transferred. But look at that. Yum. Am I right? Delicious. Now, same thing. We will put coffee filter on the top. Okay. So you've got our black tea restarted kombucha. So now these are looking pretty cool. I've got my kombuchas, I've got my white tea and my black tea, and I'm just going to let these sit for a couple weeks pretty much and watch to see if they start to grow a new cellulose pellicle at the top of the culture. If/when they start growing new cellulose layers at the top, I will be able to isolate a bacterial strain, hopefully. I'm gonna make up some media, grow it on some agar plates, and I will try to isolate that strain of bacteria so that I can produce just bacterial cellulose. Exciting. But first, I'm gonna get this place cleaned up. I will take those. I'm gonna put them in this incubator. I'm gonna set it to 25 degrees Celsius, just so that they grow faster. I want them to grow as fast as they can. You don't need to have them in a fancy incubator like this. You can just leave them out. It's just at slightly warmer temperatures, they'll grow a little faster, and that's what I want. So here we go. We're putting our pellicles into our incubator. I'm gonna put the black tea on top and the white tea on the bottom. There they go. Look at that. Our children. And I've just got a little temperature and humidity thing that I'm gonna just leave in there as well. So there you have it. Very excited. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.